So, hello, let's try this again. Nancy Drew, Curse of Blackmoor Manor. Okay, so we can do a couple of things. We can do let's do that at the night thingy.
Check. That's done. Check. That's done.
Okay, we're doing quite well.
That's done.
What we found in the computer in the library is that apparently at night there are ghosts. Mm, between 00 hours and 4 a.m.
That must be the food I ordered. Ah, loop-de-loop, otherwise known as soup. This smells delicious. That was really good.
So let's go to sleep until 12 p.m. Purgamentum.
So who's ready to go on a ghost hunt? Remember, you mustn't waste any time. Our little chums won't stay visible for long. So, on your mark, get set, go!
Oh God. They're supposed to be in the Great Hall. Oh, there is one.
Got one. Three down, 10 to go.
They are kind of cute.
Pay no attention to the bird behind the curtain. And the winner is Lulu. And the winner is Lulu. Who's the pretty bird in the mirror? And the winner is Lulu. I need the key. Felicity! The door! The door! Polly is a stupid bird. Polly is a stupid bird.
I can't see any more.
Hey! Maybe I should try feeding it something. Messing with her plants is probably not a good idea.
Benazoline. Somebody, Letitia Drake. Oh, she's allergic to something. Okay, it's interesting. That was funny. Well, we all know Audrey. So did we catch all the ghosts?
Sorry, time's up. Looks like you weren't quite fast enough for our bashful little friends. Better luck next time. Farewell till then.
Seriously.
Cool. There are symbols in that mural that I couldn't see before.
Parrot 2. 3. 1. Oh, I know where we found those. They are in the game that you can play with the automaton downstairs. Okay. Funnily enough, this thing is pointing inside. Wouldn't you want to? But hey, probably not. I would never actually have thought to point it towards the mural. I would have pointed it outside towards the sky, but hey. What time is it anyway?
What's that? He was Randolph's grandson and the first initiate. Oder did not have the proper qualities for Randolph's instruction.
Because he was stupid.
No, Jane. It's because Randolph believed that the proper qualities skip every generation. We talked about that, remember?
I guess.
Milo was a great soldier, just like his grandfather. And with his grandfather's help, he was victorious at Caen.
That was a battle fought in 1417, during the 100 Years' War.
That's right.
But I don't understand something. The 100 Years' War lasted longer than 100 years, right? So why do they call it that? Why don't they call it the 116-year war, huh?
Oh my, look at the time. We need to go over your geometry. Please open your book to page 46 and read silently. I'm afraid we're busy. I'm sorry to bother you again, but Jane told me about the lady in black.
What lady in black? Jane never said anything to me about a lady in black. That kid is so weird. I just don't get her.
Did you receive a note or something that's upset you?
I did receive something. But it's none of your concern. You can't help me, and that's that. I'm sorry.
Linda, you have to give me a chance. Everyone is so worried about you. If you just tell me what's happened, maybe I could help. Linda? I made a promise to your mother and I plan to keep it. I'm here for you when you need me.
Well, she's a right bitch.
Check. Check.
Okay, this whole ghost thing doesn't appear in our list, so I assume that's just optional. That's just a game. Okay, let's look at the mural one more time. And of course I didn't bring my notepad. I'll have to get that. Did I receive a phone call? Nope.
Écoutez, répétez. Je suis, tu es, il est.
Je suis, tu es, il est.
Nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont.
Nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont.
Okay. She's conjugating verbs. Okay, so we've got the flute, whose name I don't remember, and that has the number 4 associated with it. Then we have the parrot, which has number 2. The lyre, number 3. The sad mask, number 1. The laughing mask or happy mask as number 5. So we've got 5 in total. Now we'll have to see how this helps us.
Boar's Head, this is Tommy.
Hi, this is Nancy Drew. I'd like to order some food.
Sure, we've got some loop-de-loop bangers and mash, pinky and perky and a dog's eye, and they're all Robin Hood.
I'd like some Pinky and Perky, please.
Good choice. Uncle Fred and Johnny Rudder?
Bread and butter.
Okay.
All right then. We'll come round and leave it at your Rory. Baked potato!
Oh God.
Stopped working. I need something to wind it up. Doesn't work.
Yes?
I'd like to play the card machine in the Great Hall, but it's broken.
It's not broken. I removed its crank, as it was proving to be too much of a distraction for Jane. I suppose I could see where it's gone to. But in the meantime, be a dear and do something for me, would you?
Sure.
Do you see that hodgepodge of plants over there? They're my prize seedlings. I had them perfectly arranged in that box, so I could easily move them about to catch the light. Unfortunately, Jane took all of them out when I wasn't looking, and now for the life I cannot get them back in the box, so that they all fit. Why don't you give it a try while I see about that crank? If we both succeed, we shall both be happy, if you catch my meaning. Remember, they must all fit in that box!
Can they be turned? Okay, this is terrible. Yeah, I'll have to um
Hello, Nancy.
I'll let you get back to your work.
Farewell.
It would be rude to use it now.
Hello?
Hi, Ned.
Hey, Nancy.
What's going on?
Let's just say that so far your call is the high point of my day. So how's Blackmoor Manor?
A little on the spooky side.
How's Mrs. Petrov's daughter?
Next question, please.
That bad, huh?
It's just very strange. She stays in bed hiding behind this curtain all day.
Do you have any idea what the deal is?
Nope.
Well, just keep talking to her. As soon as she knows she can trust you, I'm sure she'll open up.
Apparently, each of Jane's ancestors had different coats of arms.
Really? That's odd. You'd think there would be just one coat of arms for the whole family.
Believe me, the Penvillin family is nothing if not odd. Each coat of arms includes very distinct images and symbols.
Wonder why they're so different.
It's a long story, but I'm beginning to think that each Penvillin left behind a puzzle, and that his or her coat of arms contains clues to solving that puzzle.
Makes sense. I mean, in an oddball Penvillinian sort of way.
I'll talk to you soon.
I'm already looking forward to it.
Puer, pueri, puero, puerum, puero.
What does puer mean?
Puer means boy.
she's learning Latin now. She did French earlier. Okay.
That must be the food I ordered.
Yay.
Looks like Pinky and Perky is turkey.
Turkey.
I knew that. This smells delicious. Mmm. That hit the spot.
Je suis tu et il est.
Good. Again.
Je suis tu et il est.
I need something else for this. Guess she's not in her room.
Felicity! The door! The door! Pay no attention to the bird behind the curtain. Hello!
Bye, bird.
Cheerio! Top of the morning to you, matey.
How good are you at giving hints?
Tell your troubles to Lulu.
Can you give me a hint when it comes to finding those ghosts in time?
2 in the conservatory, 4 in the great hall, 7 in the hallways, 13 in all.
Okay.
Bye, bird.
My bird. Felicity! The door! The door! Pay no attention to the bird behind the curtain.
Seven in the hallways. 7? Really? Okay. That seems like an awful lot because there isn't that much hallway.
Hi, Linda.
Nancy? I can't believe you're still here. I thought for sure that maybe you can help me.
I know I can help you. Just tell me what's wrong.
I haven't told anyone what I'm about to tell you. Mostly because what happened is all my fault. I should have listened, but I didn't.
What did you do?
One day, after Hugh left for Rome, I inadvertently discovered a secret passageway. I started to explore it. And pretty soon, I found this really old-looking message etched into the wall. When I read it, I realized it was some kind of ancient curse. I tried to laugh it off, but it was kind of unnerving. So I went back to my room and found a note on my nightstand. And on it was written the exact same curse. That very night, I started to feel strange. The curse has been coming true ever since.
Can you tell me what this curse said?
I burned it as soon as I read it. I don't know why I bothered telling you this. You can't do anything for me. I should have listened, but I didn't. And now what's done is done.
Tell me about the secret passageway you found.
No. I've already sealed my own doom. I won't do the same to you. I'm not going to tell you anything.
How well do you get along with Jane?
I've been giving it the old college try, believe me. But she can just be so strange sometimes.
How so?
She'll just do the oddest things. Like one night just after Hugh left, she came into my room and insisted I read a book to her.
That doesn't sound very odd to me.
The book was on monsters, vampires and werewolves and witches. I mean, what kind of little girl reads books like that? She fits right into this house, that's for sure.
I'll see you soon.
I think
Please.
Hugh should have actually married somebody else because you are getting worse and worse every time I speak to you. From what Linda told me, it sounds like the note that Jane's Lady in Black left on Linda's nightstand was a copy of the curse Linda saw in the secret passageway. Now the question is, did Jane really see somebody or did she put that note there? The lens I found in that box in my room must be some kind of filter. When I put it on the telescope, I can see a series of symbols on the wall that are otherwise invisible. Jane's grandfather Alan programmed his computer with this Find the 13 Ghosts game, which you can only play between the hours of midnight and 4 a.m. The objective is to find the ghosts that are in the hall, the hallways, and the conservatory within a certain amount of time. The login word for the computer is Purgamentum. I met Ethel Bossany. Yeah, we met her yesterday. Let's see.
Very good. And now the plural?
Okay, so we're gonna set the watch for 2. And then let's see if we can talk to Jane.
I used that to make cakes for Lulu the parrot. That's why the ingredients are so nasty. Like, I would eat mealworms. Aren't you glad we don't have to use that thing to cook our food?
I saw the kitchen. What happened to it?
I guess you could say I happened to it. But it was Ethel's fault. She inspired me to study the oxidation rates of different kinds of cookie doughs. Only my snickerdoodle experiment got away from me.
Do you mind if I make something?
Go right ahead.
We're not going to make anything for Lulu simply because this looks like chocolate bars. Because we were told that she has a very difficult or sensitive digestion. We don't want to kill the bird. Runes are a set of symbols that came to Britain with the ancient Germanic people who immigrated to the country around 450 AD. They were used throughout Northern Europe during the Dark Ages, which lasted from around 500 AD to 1500 AD. Because these symbols were used for writing, among other things, they can be termed an alphabet. The original runic alphabet was made up of 24 symbols and is known as the Elder Futhark. The first 6 runes spelled out the word Futhark. The runes were comprised of straight lines so that they could be easily cut into wood or stone. The Elder Futhark is divided into 3 Aitir, or groups of 8. Futhark Fehu Uruz Thurisas Anzus Raido Kenas Gebo Wunyo Hagalas Nauthis Isai Jera Aiwas Perthro Algis Suilo Heimdall's Eit Freyas Eit Tyrus Eit. Each rune not only represents a letter but an object or being as well. As a result, each rune is associated with a specific characteristic or event. For example, O is called Othala and not only represents the letter O, but it also means ancestral property, which can connote home, everything that is important to someone, security, support, experience, etc. Because each rune has an intrinsic meaning, people in the Dark Ages would sometimes randomly choose a series of runes, i.e. draw them from a bag or cast them on the ground and try to tell the future from the juxtaposition of their meanings. Monsters, that's the book.
Nigel gave that to me when I was in the library once. I think he was hoping it would scare me, but it didn't. I'm too smart to believe in that sort of stuff.
Monsters, what and why? That would be something you find in Hogwarts. The real deal on mummies, witches, werewolves and vampires. Werewolves, Lycanthropy, by Paliki Vadas, University of Manhattan. Since ancient times, the cunning savagery of wolves has both terrified and awed the humans with whom they came into contact. In Europe, where wolves were a constant threat to livestock and allegedly to small children and lone travelers, legends as to their evil viciousness became widespread. Predictably, one of these legends involved humans who could transform themselves into wolves. These creatures were called werewolves. Were means man, and the transformation came to be known as lycanthropy. What? The symptoms of lycanthropy. Descriptions of werewolves and of the transformation process itself have varied greatly throughout the ages. Some lycanthropes assumed the precise appearance of a wolf. Others turned into something that was half human, half beast. Sometimes the change was permanent. Sometimes lycanthropes could change from form at will. Sometimes environmental factors brought about the transformation. The symptoms and duration of a werewolf's condition depended entirely upon the curse that initiated that particular case of lycanthropy. In general, victims who were destined to alter their form permanently usually appeared pale. Fatigue was a frequent complaint, as well as weak vision, a dry tongue, and constant thirst. That would be me. These symptoms usually accompanied or were soon followed by hair growth, especially on the face or hands. And hands, that's not me. Fingernails grew long, and the eyes gradually changed shape and color. Also not me. The victim's personality also changed. He or she became increasingly ill-tempered and aggressive. I believe that this is Jane, not Jane, but this woman whose name I forgot. The bitch in the bed, and aggressive. As the transformation grew more apparent, the victim usually went into hiding, returning to society only to satisfy its newfound appetite for human flesh. For temporary victims who could change their appearance at will, or who were involuntarily transformed by the sound of a wolf's nocturnal howl or by a full moon, lycanthropic symptoms occurred not over time but quite quickly, almost instantaneously. Oops. They were forced to assume human form again at sunrise, either by shedding their hair, claws, and fangs, or by taking off their skin and hiding it intact. Such a lycanthrope would reportedly suffer the same fate as its shed skin. If it was found and destroyed, the werewolf would likewise be destroyed. According to legend, those who voluntarily became werewolves obtained the ability to change their form through sorcery. Involuntary lycanthropes were people who had been cursed by someone they had wronged, or had been bitten by or born to a werewolf. That would make sense because we've got this beast outside. So probably the beast we saw with the red eyes, that's actually this woman. Since there was no cure and since most werewolves were thought to be immortal, these unfortunate beings were compelled to lead dark, desperate lives until they were felled by a fatal wound or the brain or heart that they could only be destroyed by a silver bullet is a modern embellishment. Why? The reasons of lycanthropy. Psychology plays a significant role in lycanthropy. Wanting to imitate, if not actually become, the thing or person that one fears the most seems to be part of human nature. Far from being a universal phenomenon, werewolves are unknown in regions where there are no wolves. Instead, people spread tales of were-bears and were-tigers or were-crocodiles, whichever animal is most feared. The old saying, if you can't beat them, join them, goes a long way in explaining the source and longevity of many monster legends. That's interesting. If you can't beat them, join them. More importantly, throughout history, there have been instances of people who actually were werewolves, in their own minds at least. Convinced that they had been cursed, they presented all the physical symptoms of lycanthropy and often behaved violently. Because they fully believed that they had become werewolves, they acted like werewolves. As a result, the people around them treated them like werewolves, which only reinforced their delusion, thus trapping them in a vicious cycle. I like that, because that makes a lot of sense. This psychological disorder was no doubt prevalent in the Middle Ages, when belief in sorcery, curses, and creatures such as werewolves was commonplace. Incidentally, this is how the Wendigo legend works. The power of suggestion cannot be underestimated, especially in a place where education is minimal and superstition passes for truth. Instances of lycanthropic disorder are rare in modern times, although it is possible that many cases go unreported due to misdiagnosis or familial embarrassment. That was a very interesting book.
That's my family tree. Ask me anything about anyone. Go on, ask me.
And Hugo?
He had a lot of kids, and his dates were 1401 to 1466.
Tell me about Randolph.
Randolph the Red, so named for his bright red hair, was considered a hero at the Battle of Poitiers. For his heroism, King Edward III awarded him with the lands in the region called Penvelin. That's how we got our name.
Who was Marjorie?
She died when she was a little girl. It was really sad.
What do you know about Cecilia?
She married the Lord of Limerick and did a lot of needlework. She had a ton of kids too, like 20. Can you imagine?
What about Jacobus?
He died when he was like 9.
What about Milo?
Milo inherited not only his grandfather's red hair, but his military prowess. Milo was instrumental in the siege of Caen and was awarded even more lands by Henry V.
Who was Josephus?
Yeah, they used a lot of Latin names back then and weird spellings. He became like a priest or parson or something.
Who was Robertus?
He was a knight but died in some kind of jousting tournament. He was twins with Josephus.
Tell me about Simon.
He lived from 1358 to 1412. No, 1411. We don't know very much about him.
Who was Anor?
He was Odo's brother.
What did Guido do?
He made pizza. No, I'm joking, of course. I don't know anything about him except that he died in 1433 because he outlived all of his siblings.
Who was Agatha?
She was a nun. I think she lived in Ireland.
Tell me about Albert.
He was very mysterious, and the people of Blackmoor were afraid of him because he knew all these scientific things. No one knows much about him, though.
Tell me about Lucia.
Isn't that a pretty name? If I have a daughter, I'll name her that.
Who was Adam?
Like he married Eve. Duh, no kidding. I actually don't know anything about him. I think he was the son of Hugo, though, but I forget.
Who was Anisha?
A nun.
Who was Jeanette?
It's Genet. I think he wrote plays, maybe. I don't know, I forget.
Who was Joan? Is that misspelled?
No, that's how they spelled it then. She got married to this duke somewhere in Flanders.
Or do I have to listen to all of them, really? Marge.
Who was Marge?
I forget. I think she was... Oh, I don't know.
Tell me about Edmund.
He was into cows. He did a lot of breeding of cows and sheep and got some kind of award from the king.
I'm not gonna go through all of them, sorry, but seriously.
What do you know about Letitia?
Loves plants, hates noise. You can ask her about it. She's usually in the conservatory with her plants.